What is up, everyone? I'm Skratch. Welcome to the channel. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today we got Ash on the channel. What's up, Ash? How you doing?
Yo, Skratch, I am doing great, man. I'm not going to call you Skratch AK-47 anymore
No, we cut that off.
because
We cut that off. Yeah, that's it. That's it. No
we
more.
cut it off, dude. We cut it off, man. It's funny. I think we said this on my channel last time that we collabed or whatever, but like I've been calling you that for like 2 years, and you're like, bro, it's been Scratch Gaming now for like 2 years. Thanks for noticing.
Yeah,
So my
the
bad. My
whole thing
bad.
was I wanted to make a t-shirt with my name, and I just didn't have enough money to buy with Scratch AK-47, so I had to cut that off. So then I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep it like this.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, sure. Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
A pleasure as always. And guys, we actually recorded a different video on Ash's channel where we ranked all the mythical champions from number 7 to number 1. Very curious to see what you guys think about the ranking, so head over and check that video out. In today's video, guys, we're gonna talk about champions that's seen a massive value surge in the last couple of months, and some of them even in the last couple of days, if I can say that. And Ash, I'm gonna let you start, bro. Like, what's one of the champions that you think it saw a massive value surge recently?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with the Nithwi Blood Twin, and
Mm,
it's not just a Nithwi. Like basically any deny revive champion could fit in this category, but Sun Wukong, newsflash, Sun Wukong is everywhere.
yeah.
I feel like he's in not quite as popular as UDK, maybe. In live arena, I feel like he's more popular than UDK. In classic arena, I feel like he's maybe slightly less. Either way, everybody has him, everybody got him for free, and he's very good, Sun Wukong.
Yeah.
And there's one way to like who are the popular champions in the meta, right? Uh when Sun Wukong came to form in the meta, that's what pushed it over the top for me in terms of using deny revivers out there. And my deny reviver of choice is a Nithwi Blood Twin. But even before that, it's Sifis everywhere. It's Marichkas with their revive passive. It's Duchesses. There's a lot of revivers. So I'm a big fan. I've shifted away from like Candrafon and Leo and started using deny revivers in my live arena rotation. Not
Mm.
to say that Candrafon and Leo aren't still amazing S tier meta, don't get me wrong. But I just like having a nice, easy Sun Wukong and every reviver response at the ready. So I think that Anithui's a champion for me that I had in the vault for so long. Never really used him that much, you know.
Mm.
And now I have him in Stone Skin, and he's a threat that has to be, dealt with basically. And he's actually banned a lot, more so than a lot of my other nukers were.
Yeah, that passive is pretty nasty where he blocks revive with any skill. The main thing that I'm it's not really selling me on him for most of the cases are the multipliers, the damage that he deals. The A2 is fairly decent with the triple hitter. It does
Yeah.
have a decent damage, but the
So
AoE,
A2 is a Rotos killer, right?
yeah,
A triple
absolutely.
hitter in
Yep,
there, right? And it's also a way to get around UDK with 2 hits bleeding
yep.
through on a softer target. Uh he got a multiplier buff to his A3 about a year ago,
Hmm.
but it's still not. I'm not sitting here saying it's super hard hitting.
Yeah, it's a
I'm lucky enough
3.6.
to have him. I don't have him fully ascended, Scratch, but I have him ascended and or awakened rather.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And the coolest thing about Anithwi to me and is why I put him over, like Foley's and who are all great as well. Constantine, for example, is because of the way his passive is worded. Champions killed or anybody killed by this champion cannot be revived. It actually synergizes with the Reaper, the
Blessings.
Soul
Yeah.
Reaper. So if you kill with Soul Reap, it still counts as a deny or block revival.
Mm.
Whereas every other champion, the way it's worded is if this skill kills an enemy, it blocks revival, so it will not work with the Reaper.
Yeah.
So I think obviously Constantine would probably have the same thing because it's on his passive. But either way, I really like that because I just try to at least do as much damage to get to that threshold. I think it's 14% for me, and it still blocks revive. So yeah, I hear you on the damage. I would love more, but
Yeah,
I still
would be
think he is
nice.
a threat. He's a threat that must be dealt with, especially in the
100%.
Stone Skin. I moved him out of Savage and Lethal and into Stone Skin. Obviously, a little bit of a more damage sacrifice there, but gosh, you can just feel the opponents on pins and needles, right? Is he going to
Mm.
touch Sun Wukong? Because if so, he's negated the entire match.
And just wait till you're getting some nice accessories from the Hydra Clash so you can build him Savage Stone
Do
Skin.
both.
Yeah, that's gonna be even better, yeah.
Indeed. Do you use any block reviver? Like, who's your block reviver go to if you need to use one? Mortu?
No, I haven't used Mortu in so long. I don't tend to use
Okay.
block revivers. I do use Rotos, but he needs to kind of like build up to get to that block revive. I used for a while what's his name? The Undead. I literally Blood Gorge. Sorry, I forgot his name for
Oh,
a
Blood
second.
Gorge. Yeah.
He hits fairly good. The main issue is the affinity with him, and I'm not using him very often, so I tend not to use block revive heroes. I'll be honest with you.
Okay. Blood Gorge is great as well. The only knock on him, and it's a stretch because he's really cool, but is even though Decapitate can basically one shot anybody, it's just one shot, and that's why
Yeah.
I like Anithri. He has the triple hitter.
Mm.
It's just so important, I feel like, with UDKs and Rotos and etc. But anyway, that's my first call out there. Skratch.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I'm gonna move over to the High Elves, and this was a fusion champion. You may notice I don't have him, and I'm not talking about Islin. I'm talking about Lona Tauril, and
Okay.
I haven't fused him because I thought he was bad. I just didn't fuse him because I went holiday, so I just didn't play the game at that time. But he's seen such a massive value surge with the addition of Fire Knight hard mode, man, because a lot of people didn't fuse him because he's a trash champion, just another ally attack. Like you don't need him if you have any other ally attack champion. Basically, increase crit damage buff on all allies and teams up with all of them. Is Lona Tauril, you have Cardiel, you have the mythical champion, and I don't think there's another one that teams up with all the team, with all 5 if you're in a Hydra fight, for example, because the other ones, either they team up with 3, either with 4 allies, so this
is is Farrakhan all though? No, it's 3, right? It's all, right?
It
Or
might
no?
be all, but not himself, so he doesn't attack either.
Okay,
so,
yes, that's true. It is all though, but you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay, good call out there. I actually am the same boat with as you. I pulled him, and I built him Lana Rethil, not Lana Rethil, Lana Therrell.
Lona
I
Tauril, yeah,
pulled
something
him,
like that.
and
Yeah.
I built him. If you got me on the channel, bro, you're guaranteed to get butchers of names. I
Yeah,
apologize to all your amazing, smart, generous viewers. But yeah, anyway, dude, I like this guy, man. I'm the same boat as you, though. I did not fuse him. I pulled him. I saw the in-game reviews, and I was like, dude, why are people hating on this dude so much, man? Like, he's a really competent shield and ally attacker.
Yeah, like his reviews are awful, mainly because he was a fusion champion, bro. And you know how it goes.
Probably,
People tend
yeah.
to undermine a lot of the champions that come as fusion or as free champions. People are like, nah, that's trash.
Yeah,
Till they don't have him
yeah.
and they need him. And then they're like,
Yep.
my god, that champion is good. Why I was doing that mistake not to go for him or stuff. But he's a pretty competent ally attack, very good for the Fire Knight, and fast animations. He shields your team as well. The main thing that I don't like, I'll be honest, is the HP aura should be for all battles. He's a legendary champion. It shouldn't be just for the Doom Tower. But other than that, he's a pretty solid champion, man. 23k HP. Tons of options for him, So definitely you saw a value surge with the Fire Knight, 100%, yeah.
No, absolutely. Good call out there. I like that guy too. I'm gonna go all the way from Void Legendary to Rare.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go Skinwalker, Gnarlhorn. I feel like this one might be a super obvious choice. But I just see him in so many, creeping up like more and more teams for Phantom Shogun, right? Really, I can keep it like super short here after going long on an Itwi. It's really his Ram A1, right? It can't be strong, critical, or weak hit. So you've got that. Obviously, he's also amazing in I feel like there's so many Doom Tower hard rooms with Spirit Affinity only or whatever. So he's great for control. He has Unkillable, but really for Phantom Shogun, it's just so nice for that A1 for him to be your target.
Yeah, 100%. And how you mentioned, he's so powerful in Doom Tower on those secret rooms, man. It's crazy. There are quite a few of them where you need him, and he does the job better than anyone else. And even for Faction Wars, having AoE provoke on a rare champion on a 3-turn cooldown, man, is like, wow, like you don't see this. You don't see this every day. Not many have it, so it's definitely very, very impressive.
There's legendaries that don't have AoE provoke on a 3-turn cooldown. Looking at you, Chromax Moonblood. Like it's pretty bad, man. It's pretty bad. But yeah, he's definitely with the Unkillable. And like even for progression, he's got defense and dungeons by 27%. Obviously, that applies to Shogun's Grove as well. Yeah, so really, really good. Like one of the better, I feel like, rares out there in the game.
100%, especially for 2023. Like there are not many that are at this level. And talking about
Indeed.
rares, I'm gonna take you to a rare which I just mentioned you before the video. Have you seen that rare champion?
Yes.
The dwarves, the madman, the new Hydra Slayer, the new Hydra King, and this bad boy, man, like I haven't looked at him before. I was chilling on stream. I was talking with Seth actually, and he was like, Skratch, have you seen what Madman can do? I was like, no, let me see. And then he has the A3, attacks an enemy, ignores defense, block damage, shield. The A2 AoE gets a bit of a heal. But then the A1, which is a basic skill, right? Attacks one enemy, a 50% chance of attacking all other enemies with a second hit, dealing 30% of the damage inflicted from the first hit. So Tranda's A2, how powerful it is on the Hydra. He's gonna do the same, but of course it's a 50% chance. But then it's a basic skill. You don't need any resets on him or anything like that. Not at the magnitude of Tranda, where she just deals 20-30 million damage, but he deals 4 or 5 million damage, 3 million damage. So it's still a very viable option for a lot of people, man. So yeah, very, very, very interesting to see him just skyrocketing out of nowhere.
Yeah, dude, that is a great call out. Honestly, before you had told me that off air, I had not seen that video. I had not seen that about him. So really cool. I can't wait to go watch.
Yeah, he's definitely very, very solid. What do you have next?
Next, they keep adding a bunch of more Hex champions to the game, right? And you know who gets better every time they add more Hex champions? It's good old Rule, the Hunt Master. Dark Elf.
Yeah.
He's just getting better and better by the day, really, right? When he was introduced to the game, he was fairly underwhelming, just kind of a DPS. He was one of the only Hexers even out there. So it's like, okay, all this Hex synergy for what? Well, now 2 years later or whatever, well, now there's a lot of utility you can get out of him. He has a lot of damage, good multipliers, ignoring defense if there are 4 or more enemies under Hex. So great against waves or anywhere like that as well. I love that he's bringing increased accuracy on everybody, like a nuker who's just randomly bringing increased accuracy. Really nice. He's got a perfect veil on himself. He's placing Hex as well. But it really all comes together with the Marked Quarry on the passive. Decrease the speed of enemies by 5%, resistance by 10%. The damage they receive by 10%, and the heals they receive mitigated by 30%. So we already know they buffed Hex, a year ago now.
Yeah.
So actually, it's actually does damage now. And then you add this to that, the passive, and this is just, it's all active skills. It's not like a cooldown or anything like that. So he just adds even more utility to every Hex in the battle. There's so many cool combos you can place him with, like champions like a Kemptum or Mithrala, etc. And he's obviously going to help everybody with a lot of damage and with the increased accuracy. The damage mitigation is even going to help him stay alive because the only knock on him is he's pretty squishy. But yeah, his attack scales very, very well. And I've seen people use him in Hydra for a lot of damage. He's becoming I want to say, like, starting to be a staple of a lot of teams who don't have seer activators or poison combust teams, especially for higher stages, provided, again, you can keep them alive of Doom Tower. So Rule, I think that especially, again, the more Hex synergy that comes out, the more Hex champions that they release, I think he just gets better and better.
100%. Like, he has actually very similar multipliers with Tranda, but he ignores the defense. So overall, he deals more damage than a Tranda, and Tranda in her good days with the main skill. I feel like they miss the whole idea with this champion. The A3, instead of the veil, should grant an extra turn, and then move to the A2. That would make him so much better, just generally for all the content. But how you mentioned, you can use high Hex sets now on champions, and try to land a Hex, and he's gonna benefit a lot from it. 100%. Yeah,
you're right. They could have made, even on the stock prey, they could have just made it, if there's one enemy if at least one enemy is under Hex, grants an extra turn.
Yeah,
because he's all about Hex anyway. And you're right, that would have made him incredibly good. But still, I'm starting to be a fan. I was kind of not a hater, but I was more neutral on the champion for a while. But I'm coming around.
Yeah, 100%. He's still a very viable option. And I'm gonna go to an epic actually, and it's gonna be from the Sylvan Watchers. I feel like I mentioned her quite a few times, but recently I don't have Yumeko at all on my account. I don't have double Yumeko, and you're gonna have to basically adjust to the current meta even for the Hydra. I'm in a competitive clan. We're doing Hydra Clash, and I started using White Dryad Nia. Like, she was a viable option even with the corpulent team, just as an idea. But basically, she has this skill where removes all debuffs from a target, heals them, and then decreases the cooldown of all of the target skills by 2 turns. So basically, I have her built on a reflex set, and I'm constantly resetting my Tranda with her in Hydra, and constantly popping off with the A2 and A3. So she's doing such an amazing job to get the job done only for that. But then she adds so many other things to the whole thing. The A1 AoE decrease speed, so powerful for Hydra, right? And I feel like a lot of people are using her and have been using her for the last couple of months, especially in the Hydra, because of the way the meta is at the moment. Ally protection, you're getting the smaller version of strengthen, and is on a 4-turn cooldown, which is very helpful. More healing with a passive. Very good base stats for an epic champion, and she looks pretty damn cool.
Yeah. So what are you? So who specifically did you? You might have said it and I missed it, but who are you using her with on your Hydra team right now?
So on my Hydra team right now, I actually have is definitely not a free to play team.
Yeah.
It's a free to pay team. How I like
Sorry
to say
to call
it.
you out, you dirty whale.
Is my free to pay team, but I have Tranda, I have Arbiter,
Yep.
I have Lydia, I have Gerptek Mousebeard, I have White
Yep.
Dryad Nia, and I have a Kymar. And basically I'm cycling like this. So Kymar and her are on reflex, and this team on Hydra Hard, as an idea, has the potential to do 2-3 billion damage. 2 to 3 billion, maybe even more.
God,
Yeah,
dude.
so
I need to dust off my White Dryad Naya now, because I am running a very similar team on Hydra Hard for my 3rd team, and I'm not scoring. I don't know how much I'm scoring, but it's not a couple billion, it's in the 100 millions.
Yeah.
So maybe I need to get a White Dryad Naya in there.
Yeah, she's very nice.
Because I don't have double Yumeko either.
Yeah, exactly. So if you don't have that, it's actually a very, very solid option.
Interesting. Okay, cool. Good call out there. I'm gonna go with. I don't know if this is a recent skyrocket or not, Skratch. Recent enough, but you called out a Hydra, so I'm gonna call out a Hydra.
Yeah.
I just can't say enough about Molly Tankard, man. Like, do you use Molly and Hydra at all on any of your teams?
So, till the corpulent nerf, I used to run her on my brutal team, yeah, as the provoker and mischief target, yeah.
Yeah, like I love so Molly and Contra are my favorite Hydra provokers. I could have gone with either or, right? But I think that Molly is just on the team that I run at least. Yeah, like a 2-turn provoke on a 3-turn cooldown is incredible, right? And then the reviver, she's my only reviver on that specific team, right? So she's reviving, right? Carrying those duties. It's not the best revive in the game, but it's not the worst. 50% HP, 50% turn meter. It's almost like her kit is so basic, but it does so much. Because for me, the reason I've told this story on my channel before, Skratch, but I didn't use Molly and Hydra up until maybe 6 months ago or so. And I just was like, in my head, I'm like, yeah, but I'd rather get more than just a mediocre single target revive and maybe a 2-turn provoke. Like, I want it more out of a champion in that slot. But then, like, I just so vastly underestimated Rowdy Crowd and how powerful that is in Hydra. I mean, basically filling the turn meter of all allies by 25% whenever she's hit, resets every single time she gets a turn. It's just such massive turn meter increase over the duration of a battle. It's funny, if you don't believe me or if you are skeptical and you own Molly out there, just take out whoever's provoking Hydra and put her in and just watch the overall damage on your team go up because of all that turn meter filled throughout the duration of the longer battle. So I'm a massive, massive fan of Molly.
Yeah, and it's so much easier to make her the mischief target, bro, just because she brings reflect damage. That's not a very common buff on the rest of the champions. Because the other ones, they either bring strengthen, which is pretty common to have it from other champions on your entire team. So that kind of puts you in a bad spot because she's not a mischief target anymore like that. Or you have shield, and again, somebody else brings you shield. Mitrala kind of like kills the whole vibe with strengthen or shield, So you're like, okay, what am I doing? Bring reflect damage. Nobody else will bring that to the team, So she's going to be the perfect mischief target, and you're not going to have to worry about it, basically. So it's a very, very good touch.
And like, just to add to all of that, too, and this is like the last reason you'd ever invest in Molly Tankard, to be clear, but like, she can put out a sneaky amount of damage. Like, her A1 roast hits really hard, So like, for a reviver, for a champion who only literally has 1 hit of attack in her entire kit on the A1, like she's putting out over 10 million or whatever, you know, depending on the team and the difficulty, it's going to differ obviously. But yeah, I mean, like, and she has the burn, you know, or excuse me, damage increases if the target's under burn. So I have her like on a Venus team or something, you know.
Mm.
So anyway, really, really love her.
She does hit quite a bit. I've seen like some big hits from her A1, and I don't even have her build for damage. You know, just randomly when she was critting, I was like, damn, that was a 400k. I was like,
yeah, I was
where
just
did
gonna
that
say
one
the same
came
number.
from? You
She
know,
just comes in with a 400k smack, and you're like, whoa, Molly,
yeah,
easy.
like
Yeah, like,
under the sleeve, and she doesn't even have any. You know.
I know. So
The next one
yeah,
that I have on
Molly,
the list, I feel like
yeah.
I'm really orientated to the Fire Knight and stuff for whatever reason today, but
Yeah,
I'm gonna have
bring it.
Genshin on the list. YST hears me now,
Ooh,
probably applauds, and he's
IST,
like
what's
super
up,
excited,
bro?
you know. But Genshin, man, like the first time I've seen my clanmate Sato, actually, he was like, Skratch, new world record, 50 plus seconds on stage 10, and the day before I made the video, and I was like, yeah, this 1 minute and 15 seconds is not gonna be beaten anytime soon. A few hours later, Sato comes in with Genshin, you know. So basically, triple hit on the A1, you're getting a bit of extra thermeter. On the A2, you're getting defense down AoE, you're getting more thermeter, which allows you to rotate very, very fast. And he hits fairly decent. Then you have the A3 attacks on enemies, a single hit. So it's something like wow that will go crazy all around, but it decreases the cooldowns of the Still Parting and Fated Vengeance skill by 1 turn if you kill somebody with this skill. So you're gonna rotate even faster, you know. The passive increases the speed, and he's such a good champion for the Fire Knight hard mode stage 10, together with Lona Tauril, for example, just for the simple fact that double ally attack, bang, you take the boss down, you're getting to the boss very fast because this champion has extremely fast animations, right? If you guys saw him in action. And now with the Mythical Fusion, which when she uses the basic skill, Shadowkin will join her attack, having Genshin next to her, him joining the attack with another triple hit, you drop the shield on the Fire Knight like butter, you know. It's just crazy how good they are, yeah.
That's a really good call out, man. You're making me. I mean, I don't need a Fire Knight, you know, champion or a team, but you're still talking me into it anyway. It's like, wait, where can I slot him in? So that's a good call out.
Yeah.
I after probably the 100th video of YST on this champion, love you YST. He finally talked me into actually like giving him good gear and trying him out in various areas, and he really is a beast. Like all that turn meter fill and just a really cool kit. And I just love that Energizer Bunny aspect of Genshin, you know, like
Hmm.
he just keeps going and going and going and going. A lot different, but similar in some ways to like a Nogdar, how you can just get them just taking turns all over the place, you know?
Yeah, 100%, 100%, man. What do you have next on
All
your
right.
list?
Yeah, I think this might be my last, but I have Tila Gourmain, another legendary here, but I think Tila is so good now. You would never know. It's a shame. When they buff a champion or when they rework a champion, I'm talking Vergamkar, Vlad, Errol, Tila, whatever. They need to go in there and like reset the reviews. Because imagine being a new
Yeah,
player
exactly.
and pulling a Tila Gourmain and looking at these crappy reviews and being like, crap, I just got a awful champion or whatever, you know?
Hmm.
I mean, we know that the reviews don't mean much in this game, but not everybody does, you know?
Yeah, and the
Uh,
the worst part is, sorry to interrupt, is that a lot of the
yeah.
new people coming to the game, they feed legendaries, man, based on the reviews. So that's the crazy part, you know. And they're like, oh my god, I
Yeah,
fed a legendary to make my starter to 6-star or stuff like that. And you're like, no, never do it, regardless of what reviews you're seeing, you know. So yeah, they
dude.
definitely need to reset that. I don't know why they're not doing it. We actually mentioned that to them quite a few times.
Oh man, yeah, they ought to, especially Tila. I mean, Tila is she went from really one of the worst, I would say
Hmm.
the worst, or in the
She
conversation of the
was,
worst
she was, yeah.
legendaries. And then they buffed her twice, maybe 3 times. The most recent buff, though, was what put her over the top into being like a very good champion, you know,
Hmm.
like not mediocre, like really good.
Yep.
Starting with her A1, man, like she's stealing a buff now, maybe 2 buffs. I don't know what it is, bro, but like stealing buffs off an A1, I've always been a massive fan of that, you know, like I just like I like going in there and stealing.
Yep.
Uh on the A2, she's got the burn for 2 turns on the AoE, then the big version of continuous heals for 2 turns on all allies. So we get the 3-turn burn and the 3-turn continuous heal, both for 2 turns. I absolutely love it. This allows her, being an HP based champion specifically, to solo a bunch of content or even duo content, heal and burn. And then on
Mm.
the A3, it all comes together with a leech and a hex and increasing duration of burn. So again, Ice Golem hard, progression basically anywhere. She's easy to keep alive and do a ton of damage and keep everybody else alive. Hex is such an essential buff in so many areas now, and she has it. Again, she has leech. She's a great champion to put Master Hexer and even Lasting Gifts, so the continuous heal, to just get even more utility out of everything she's bringing to the table. Man, what more do you want from a champ, right? Like, you put her with instant activator and she'll still be increasing the duration of said burns. I feel like she's just really still underrated dramatically. Hydra clan boss as well. I mean,
Yeah.
think about it in Hydra, dude. She's got leech, she got hex, she got burn extension, continuous heals. She's tanky. I mean, come on,
Resistance
she's really
aura,
good.
like she brings everything that
Yeah.
that you might need 100%. She's definitely
very good.
from
Yeah.
zero to hero, you know, that sort of hero. Now the last
Sure.
one, Ash, I'm gonna take her from your list actually, because
I had a backup just in case.
you had a backup, so I'm gonna take your backup, you know, just so I'm not so much on the Fire Knight today. But guys, the Church of Whisper, how Seth likes to say it, I feel like Seth pushed Whisper recently so much, like he might be in love with her. So if I'll ever get him a birthday present, I might get him a cosplay of Whisper or something, you know. But basically,
you're gonna cosplay as Whisper?
No, not me. I'm just gonna get him the costume.
Happy
you know,
birthday, Sappy!
I'm gonna get him the costume, and he can deal with the rest, you know. But basically, Whisper, guys.
I'm just picturing Skratch FaceTime and be like, "Happy birthday!"
That would be a funny thing, though. But no,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that, guys. No. Whisper, she was a Twitch Prime champion, man. Like, now we have the Twitch Prime drops going on at the moment. She was part of the very first one, and basically she deals a lot of damage. Now, I've done plenty of different videos in the past on this champion, praising how good the damage is, and I always got a lot of backlash on it, saying that she's not, she's squishy, any other champion in that gear will deal the exact same damage. Skratch, shut up. But basically she deals a lot of damage, and I feel like she's seeing a bit of a value surge now with the Shogun, you know, and just generally in other content as a DPS. She's more accessible, easier to book than legendaries. The A1 has a chance to land weaken. The A2 attacks an enemy, places increased attack and increased crit rate on the champion before attacking. If the target has higher max HP, which will happen pretty much all the time, will ignore defense if the target is under a weaken. Weaken already boosts that damage, so if you bring in a different champion to always have weaken, you can make sure you're always dropping a lot of damage. Or, of course, attacks one enemy 2 times and grants an extra hit if the target is under defense down and weaken debuff. So making that to happen, you'll be getting a lot of relentless procs from the skill, you know, and a lot of damage. The passive again has a chance to grant extra turn when she lands a critical hit and increases the damage inflicted to bosses, man, like crazy, right?
Yeah, dude. I mean, she's been one of those champions that I've done a video or two on her as well in the past. I've never been like, I hate to say this, but I'm going to be truthful too. She's never made her way into one of my main teams and stayed there. Let's put it that way, right? That being said, it's undeniable, like the love out there for Whisper. To your point earlier, it's insane. So I feel like just to be real, I feel like I'm missing something, you know, maybe it's just but like I was going to do a video on the best epics for Iron Twin, Sand Devil, and Phantom Shogun. I still am eventually. So I was looking up, I like to consult all the tier lists online. Everybody has one, right? And I saw that Whisper was like a 4.5 or a 5 out of 5 in Sand Devil and Shogun. And I was like, is there something I'm missing with Whisper? I'm just, again, like, I almost feel like I need to apologize because people love her so much, the card carrying Whispers. Is there something I'm missing? But it seems like it's just the propensity to deal a ton of damage and take multiple turns, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the extra damage against bosses, which is very nice.
Yes,
you know?
yes. So her damage in your eyes justifies using over, you know, like basically most other DPS, epic DPS in those situations?
I feel like the main reason why her value surged so much recently, bro, is because all these new bosses, they have the enemy max HP capped at 10%. So in a lot of cases, if you bring in a very hard hitter, he's gonna deal more damage. Like I'm gonna give you a very pay to win example. If I'm gonna take Acrisia in Hydra clan boss, she's gonna hit on each one of the heads for like, let's just say 200k, 200k. So basically 1.5 million on each one of the heads, right? Added all together. Then I bring Taras with his AoE. He will hit 3 million on each one of the heads, making 12 million. And that's because it's not enemy max HP. It's raw damage, so it has no cap versus the enemy max HP. So I feel like that's the reason why now is she's seeing such a massive value surge compared to 2 years ago when we were doing videos on her and everybody was hating her, you know?
That makes a lot of sense. Yep. Good point. Cool. I like her aesthetic too. She looks good.
She does look very good, yeah. That might be another plus.
Indeed.
But guys, let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. You have any other champions that you think they've seen a massive value surge recently in general content? I like to do these videos every now and then because I feel like the meta evolves all the time quite a bit whenever something changes in the game, and I like to kind of like be on top of the situation to see what you guys think as well, of course, what you're using. So let us know in the comments down below. Ash, was a pleasure to have you on the channel, brother.
Pleasure all mine, man.
And yeah, guys, head over to his channel, check out the other video if you haven't done it yet, where we're ranking all the mythical champions, and appreciate every single one of you watching, and we'll catch you all soon in the next video. Peace.